Hey everyone, so welcome to another Unity tutorial. Let me just first say sorry I haven't posted it in a while. My original computer burnt up, so I got a new computer, and so hopefully this one will last longer than just a couple years. Um, Today's topic is going to be under buttons, so under UI buttons, and kind of just some kind of cool things you can do with it. Um, so here we go. Alright, so we have a simple scene, and this is going to be real simple because I don't want to make this too complicated, make this beautiful landscape and or a level and not tell you what's going to, should just be a couple minute tutorial or 5 minutes. So what you want to do is, let's just get rid of this real quick, and see, we'll just see if you've got a scene without a canvas on there, and if you have a canvas you can just easily add a button to it. For this purpose, I'm going to do the legacy button, and so it'll be actually in your scene, and in the scene I believe I have somewhere in there. Well, take it for granted. I got a couple spears in there, so this is just to identify the change between the scenes, and this is going to be basically push the button, switches the scene. Okay. Alright, and so we got our button on there. Now, just for aesthetic's sake, well, name your button. So I'll just say switch scene button. For all I know, you could say don't push this button on there, and that will be under the text underneath the button. Alright, and so that is it for that one. Now the other thing I did was I created a whole separate scene. So if we go first to save this change, and then we'll go into open scene, scenes, and know the name of your scene. Okay, this is just going to be a simple tutorial, so I'm not going to name this anything special. Alright, so in this scene we've just got some squares, and you see the difference. This is sample scene 2. Alright, and this is just for identification that we've done our job, or I've done my job. I think I've done my job, I don't know. Alright, there they are. I was wondering where they were. Okay. So the button's up there. Canvas is going to be based on, a couple things like your camera settings. But yeah, whole other tutorial. Alright, so if we go back to our canvas, our button. Alright, and this one, if you click it, nothing's going to happen. So if I click this, I can keep clicking and clicking. Nothing is going to happen at all. Okay. It won't do anything until I add my actual script in there. So I already made an actual script, and for this purpose, make sure you got the library for unity.scene management in there on the top, and I've got a public function. So just basically switch to new scene, and make sure that this isn't ever the same as this name here. So alright, then I have scene manager.load scene. Make sure that this name is exactly the same name, same spelling, same capitalization, everything as the name of your scene that you're going to go to. So alright, so we got this all written out. This is going to be just a simple script, and we are not done yet though. So if I click on the script, drop it in, there's our script. Doesn't do much of else. I can always set this name to a public variable string function, but I'll do that after. Okay, so we have our button, and even though you drop the script in there, it's still not going to do anything, because right here in this section under button and then on click, you need to add that in there, and click on the button, drop it in to the variable section right there, and then it's still not going to do anything, because Unity is going to be like, well, what do you want me to do? I know it's here, but be more specific. And so you go to switch scene, and then right here, this is the name of the public function that you've seen earlier, which is here. Okay. So make sure that's on there. And the cool thing is that you can add in other ones. And in fact, I will. So say test message. Let's put print. Change the scene. Okay. And all this is going to do is in the actual console window, it's going to basically print that out. So we'll turn this on, and it's not going to do anything until I add that in there. Throw the button into the variable and select the actual proper function. Alright, so it'll switch the scene, and then it'll print out the message saying that we switched the scene. Okay. Alright, so now that that's all set up, and by the way, this is going to perform this one, this first, and then this second. Alright. I don't believe, yes you can. You can actually change the actual order. So if you have everything right but they're not functioning in the proper order, you can switch up the order. So let's go ahead and test this out real quick. If this is successful, then it'll switch the scene and we'll see a complete difference. So there we go. Alright. So, and there's our second function. So it switched the scene and it printed out the message. And that's pretty much it. So we know that this is working. Now, a couple of things. It won't work if you go to your build settings and you find out that this scene has to be added. If it's not added, you're gonna have to go, click this button. Actually, if you're lucky, if the scene is open, it'll add it in there. If not, you're gonna have to go into your scene folder and click and drag it into here, like that. Okay, and that means that it's gonna tell Unity like, oh, here it is. Yeah, we have it here. You can use it. And that's pretty much it. You can also use the actual scene name by variable number. Just be careful with that because you might submit an actual build to an employer or teacher, and if you just use the numbers, then that's going to be an issue when you gave the wrong number to Unity. You would add it into here. I'm sorry, here. If you added the wrong number here, you might find level 2 when level 1 was the actual correct number. So once this is done, close it out. And that's pretty much it. You can test it out one more time, and then I'll add in the public function. So that's pretty much it. And you can do all kinds of things with buttons. You can just, it could be an actual particular function that you want. It could be to make a purchase for IAP, in-app purchasing. You can do, fire a weapon. Sky's the limit, really. And that's kind of a, security thing. Know what you're pressing. Buttons, and that's going to be my little tidbit of advice. Know what button you're pushing these days, because for all we know, it can do anything in general, and you just got to be careful with that. So within that, we will go and add in the string variable that I was talking about. Alright, so I made an adjustment to the actual script itself, and so I made it so that you can put any name in here. So let's say, like the last group project I was working with other students who were, by the way, were awesome people and good workers. Sometimes a string variable added into a function really helps out a lot, because instead of having to go in here and change this, based on a string, which is, words inside of parentheses, an actual physical text name, it's cumbersome sometimes when you're under a lot of pressure to actually change it, like hard code this in there. And if you're using this for multiple functions, I think we had one for loading a level at the end of a level, like loading the next level at the end of the level, then that's cumbersome, because every time you got to jump back in here and change that, and that's just a big hassle when you can just change it in here. So what I did was, this is the original switch scene script. What you can do is add in a public string level name. This will make it available to, per se, the public or Unity, or the user, I should say. And then you add in this variable to the scene manager.load scene. So it'll call whatever name this is designated, and then you put in here, which was, I think, the original scene name was sample scene 2. Alright, and then to demonstrate, simply click the button and boom. So we're good to go. And just to make sure, there's our print message. Alright. So now you're wondering, like, where'd the button go? Well, it's not included in there. You know, it's not in the scene. You know, it's just our blocks. So whatever UI or buttons or whatever, make sure it's the same across the board. Same style, same color, same type of button. You know, as in regards to style, I know some levels can have a different button per level. It just, you know, whatever your heart's desire, but make sure it's same style. You know, because, you know, it just looks better aesthetically. So that's what I've got to say on the buttons. And just always make sure that this, whatever you choose it for your variable name, in, you know, whether it's a string or, like I said, public variable, which was a public string, just always make sure it's the same as your original scene name. And then always make sure that if you go into your build settings, make sure your scene's included, because you can be sitting there like, I can't fix it, I don't know what's wrong. Well, you forgot to include it into your build settings. And so yep, yeah, and I think next tutorial I'm going to go over the pause function for your game, and go from there. So anyways, you all take care. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I know a lot of viewers are dropping in and they're brand new. Please go ahead and subscribe or hit the little notification bell when a new video shows up. So it helps me out, helps you out, lets me know I'm like giving you guys good content, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.